Hi, this is Mark, and I am in this park that's on the side of the Transamerica building in San Francisco. That's the big pyramid building, and I'm sitting in front of a sculpture. It's called Puddle Jumpers, and it's by her name's Glenna Goodacre, and I just thought it'd be a cool background, and I just happened to be down here, so I'm going to do the reading from the Golden Present Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda. It's end of work time, and I think people are passing through here maybe a little bit, and I'm going to do the reading for December 13th. So the topic is when you realize that you won't even want to do it. So this is a question and answer format. What can people do who have a tendency to judge themselves harshly or to look very negatively at themselves? And Swami Satchidananda says, the question is not about self-judgment, but about self-negativity or having a poor opinion of yourself. Certainly that will affect your heart, your mind, and your personality. What you think, you ultimately become. Don't we say that? As you think, so you become. If you are thinking negatively about yourself, you don't need any negativity to come from somewhere else. You are negating yourself, so you have to analyze it. Is this good for me? Is it helpful for me to have these negative thoughts? Is it constructive or destructive? I become what I think. If my thoughts are like this, what will I become? When you realize that, you won't want to do it anymore. Often people don't take it seriously, but your own negative thoughts will affect you. That's why, at least for our own sake, if not for the sake of others, we should not develop any negative thoughts about ourselves or anybody else. No one interested in his or her own welfare, physical or mental, should invite negative thoughts. In the same way, how does one find self-love? Love yourself. Think of that. I am God's child. God has given me all these gifts. I love myself because God is functioning through me. Even if you have some disabilities, it doesn't matter. Still, you don't have to think that God doesn't love you. No, that's where the theory of karma comes in. You must have done something before that brought it to you. Think, God is merciful, so he is purging me of my karma and making me go through this. There must be a cause. Nothing happens without a cause. So think of all these things. Yes, God loves me. I am the dear, dear child of God. Think of all the gifts that God has given you. You will learn to love God, and by loving God, you will love yourself also. Positive thoughts and how we can become those, or we can become the negative thoughts. I also like to mention that when once again, we're here making references to God. I am God's child, focusing on God is merciful, purging me of my karma. It doesn't have to be this God of a religious sort. We're talking about this idea of a higher authority or this universal intelligence, something that's beyond our own powers to understand and control everything. There's something else that has the ability to create a flow in this world that we couldn't imagine how it's supposed to work. So I often like to make reference to that and honor that there is that other force, that other element that is referenced here, not simply some religious God that's only specific to one person's religion. This is a very broad, expansive understanding of what that can mean in terms of a higher power or nature. So this is interesting when we think about when we have those negative thoughts. Oftentimes we may think that they're coming from the outside, and I think that in that way he's referencing that feeling of negativity that's coming from our own minds, our own egos, and we may give credit to it being an outside source that's causing that to happen. It may trigger something in you that brings about some feeling of negativity, but what if we were to find a way, to find the positive in it, to find a sense of positive energy in it, and that may create a shift. If we're always feeling the negative thing, is that how our life is going to look? And that's what we've heard. You are what you believe. You become what you. What did he say? You say that you all. as you think, so you become, that idea. There are people who are admiring the sculpture behind me, taking pictures of it now. So I'm going to think positively about it, because that's great that they're admiring art. I mean, how often do people pass by art? They don't even recognize it. And I know, like a bronze sculpture like this, I mean, that takes a lot of effort to make it that scale. And you know, it's they're having fun. They're creating a positive energy by what they're doing. These puddle jumpers all together, holding hands. It just feels like that's what we need to do more of, is remember that we're connected and that we can take these leaps. We can take these leaps of faith, even if it is just to feel this sense of positivity in the world. Join friends who have the positive energy. If one of them had a negative feeling and thought like, oh, it's not going to happen, we're not going to make it, it would pull the whole bunch back, right? And they might all fall in the puddle. But all of them have this positive feeling, and they're rushing together to jump over something. That to me is a positive way to think about it. And we may often, you know, miss out on that if we think that it's not going to work, it's not going to happen. Maybe one of them has a little bit of doubt, but with the, you know, holding the hands of the others who pulls them along, that little bit of faith helps, you know, bring them across. And I think that is a good analogy for all of us, you know, in our life. And then I like this, when you realize that, you won't even want to do it. So he was referencing here, where was it in here? Develop negative thoughts with no issues. Oh, well, I forget where it is, but I think what I remember from it was that, you know, when you're, no, I want to find it because it was particular about, you have to analyze it. My thoughts like she's been what you realize. Oftentimes people don't take it seriously. Mess it up. Oh, I can't find it. Usually that quote is somewhere in the reading, but I'm anyway. The last thing about, you know, karma and thinking about, sometimes we just wonder why these things happen, or we feel some negative things happening, and we can just say, you know, there must have been some reason for it, rather than being angry or upset or depressed even. What if we simply just say there must be some reason for it, and I simply don't have the tools to know what it is now, but maybe I pray that I will learn what it is later, or I pray that it is helping to balance whatever it was that I may have done at another time to bring me more peace later. All right, well, it's a little actually distracting for me because there are people going back and forth, but I think that's good for now, so I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you soon.